Hey, what's up, YouTube? Okay, I want to talk for a couple minutes on a theory that I'm calling the G2G theory. And no, not the G4T theory. This has nothing to do with George for title. It's the G2G theory. And this is basically, it's a common sense thing. I didn't make this up, although I haven't heard the term other places. It probably has some other term. And it stands for good to go. Now, basically what this has to deal with is common sense, and it really boils down to the old adage, don't put off till tomorrow what you can do today. So, of course, the most obvious first thing we would have are your battery-operated tools and items.
Island as a demonstration of our power and Crimson Jihad's willingness to be humanitarian. However, if these demands are not met, Crimson Jihad will rain fire on one major American city each week.
Like screw gun here, flashlights, whatever. Don't wait until there's a blackout, an earthquake, a giant hurricane. Don't wait until the disaster hits. And in these days where things are so volatile and who knows what's going to happen the next day, I think it's especially important to keep the G2G theory in your mind at all times. And in practice, the reality of it is that all our lives are all too busy that we're really going to have time to stay on top of all this stuff. But if you keep it in your mind a bit, that's going to put you in a better position than not considering the G2G theory at all. At least I think so. So, you have all your battery operated things. You want to make sure you keep your batteries charged up as much as possible all the time. Even items that don't have batteries that take a charge, your phone or trimmer or whatever, keep those charged up. Why wait until the power goes out and then you say, hey, I needed that thing and I can't use it. Now, a lot of people might say, well, hey, some of this stuff is actually dependent on having active electricity anyway, even if it has a charge, it doesn't have a charge. But again, still, it's the mindset. If you take a little bit of effort and work on having the stuff maximum capability now, then when you need it, you're going to have it. And if you can't use it for some other reason, well, you still had the shot of being able to use it. Of course, if you have rechargeable batteries, keep them charged up at all time. It doesn't help you to have rechargeable batteries that are dead, and then you can't charge them. Okay, next up is fuel.
Just walk away. Give you the pump, the oil, the gasoline, and the whole compound, and I spare you lives.
Common sense again. You want to keep your fuel tank full or close to full. Don't let it get down to quarter of a tank, and then they attack Iran and gas jumps $5 and the lines are around the block and you're basically out of luck. The other thing on this topic, specifically with fuel, if you are not living in an apartment, there really is absolutely no reason why you shouldn't have a little supply of gasoline handy. You keep it in your garage. You can get like a $12 5-gallon tank. You can get a couple of those, or even bigger tanks. Actually, at a place near me, I recently found 55-gallon food quality drums for $15 a piece. So there's no reason why you can't fill some storage containers up with some gasoline. And if not just for your own personal use, but if you want to talk about in a SHTF scenario, fuel is going to be a fantastic tradable commodity. And if you have 5 gallons that you can give to somebody for some food or some medicine or whatever, you know, that's going to be really, really valuable. And yeah, gasoline doesn't last forever. You can get yourself some stable. I prefer the marine formula, and basically you get about 6. This says 12 months extension on like regular gasoline. Supposedly, and I've never, you know, tried to max anything out, and that just goes to show you, like with the fuel, you store it and you use it. You know, it doesn't. It's like food. It's a consumable that you actually use. You know, assuming that you drive. I use mine for chainsaws and other tools. But anyway, the marine stable says that it goes for 12 months, and supposedly if you double the amount that you put in, it's supposed to double the life. So that's, you know, 2 years. So you're saying that you could store up some gasoline. So again, if you're not in the city and in a little apartment, you should have some gasoline stored up. So besides those 2 main ones that you know, we're going to apply the G2G theory on, try and keep things as ready as possible at all times. You know, there's the things that you might sort of take for granted, like dirty laundry. You know, if you're like me, generally speaking, I always have a giant pile of dirty laundry somewhere. You don't want to have the power go out, or, you know, any kind of just serious situation rise up, and then you realize that, hey, most of your clothes need washing. I mean, that's just a crappy situation. So, you know, don't let your stuff pile up. It's that simple. Stay on top of it. And similarly, you've got dirty dishes. Again, personally, I'm notorious for letting my sink fill up with tons and tons of pots and pans and dishes and this type of thing. And, you know, if your electricity goes out and your water pump goes out, you know, do you really want to have to break into your stash of stored water, or, you know, go through the trouble of manually pumping water just to clean your dishes when you could have just, you know, cleaned them today? Doesn't make any sense. So, you know, you can try and stay on top of that too. Keep your dishes good to go. And lastly, I'm going to throw in this little folding knife. You know, any tool that you have that's critical or just even important, for the knife, for example, you know, keep it sharpened, keep it oiled. And, you know, this applies to basically anything. Just keep your stuff in good working order, G to G, ready to go. And, you know, if you need it, you'll have it, and you won't have to worry about that. It's as much a mental thing as a practical thing. So if you get thrown into a crappy situation, you know that a lot of the basics are out of your mind. You just don't have to worry about it. And that's it, guys. That's the G2G theory. If you have anything specific that you think this specifically applies to, throw it in the comments if I left it out. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about that. And, you know, again, it's a common sense thing, but I think it's important enough to share it with you. So hopefully that gets you thinking. Later, YouTube.